Hi guys. Woo! Alrighty. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? It's Louis, Elvis Defenders. I'm a bit low down. So let's see who we got. We've got Michael. Good morning, Michael, our newest member. We have Jane. Hi Jane. We've got Lorna. Carolyn. Hi Carolyn. Hope you're well. Now, Carolyn, I'm trying to stick to the keto diet. I've been very good. The only thing I haven't been good on is I have been drinking alcohol. Lager. But actually, I've been sticking with the meat and eggs. So I've been very good. Let's have a look. Jane. So, it's defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. Don't forget our Facebook is defending Elvis Presley, Louis daily live streams. So the Facebook is defending Elvis Presley, Louis daily live streams. The name of our channel is defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. A couple of things have happened. So I noticed someone sent me this, that they are making a new Netflix documentary about Elvis. This one of you sent it me. Have any of you heard of it? Is it called The Last Dance? Director Jason Eyre working on Elvis Presley's documentary for Netflix. Hi, Linda. So I'm going to read a bit of that. Netflix is set to release a new documentary on Elvis Presley, What on Netflix Has Learned. It will be helmed by Jason Eyre, best known for The Last Dance, which was co-production between ESPN and Netflix that was released in 2020, and more recently, Murder in Boston. So these are obviously other ones that he's made. How's everyone going? All right? Let's have a look. Leanne and Lorna. How are we going, guys? Is life good for you? Can you just confirm that you can hear me? I've had a shave, guys. I've had a shave. I'm clean shaven. All I need now is a facelift. So a few little things have happened. There was one little thing that niggled me. I'm just going to quickly... Actually, two things that niggled me. Let's have a look. Oh, that's good. I'm just on my wife's laptop. I'm sat in our room. I've sneaked off for a little while. So this new documentary, have any of you heard of it? It's going to be on Netflix. The title is yet to be decided. The focus is on the legendary singer, actor, and using an abundance of archival footage detailing the life and career of the artist. Now, do you know what? This is my attitude with documentaries. Do they just keep repeating the same stuff over and over again? You know, Elvis met Priscilla in Germany. Actually, no, further back. Elvis shoots to fame from rags to riches. He eventually goes into the army, meets Priscilla, comes out of the army, makes all his movies, then has a 68 comeback, then does the Vegas shows, and then dies. This is the problem with the biographies and documentaries. They're all saying the same stuff, aren't they? So I hope this one's a bit different, but in a positive way. Not all the negative lies that are constantly repeated again and again. I hope this documentary is more realistic, more truthful, because the Priscilla film, we know, is very far from the truth. Doesn't depict Elvis how we want him to be depicted. So speaking briefly about the up-and-coming documentary, Eyre said, I've been fascinated by the guy my whole life because I know there's a human being underneath the two-dimensional facade culturally. It's always been an interest of mine. The hour-long interview discussed many of the projects he worked on in the past, concluding with the insight into his chosen Elvis Presley. The ultimate aim is to peel back the layers of the well-known figures' stories to reveal a deeper, often unseen aspect of their lives. This method suggests that Elvis Presley documentary will likely offer a fresh perspective on the iconic musician, life focusing on the man behind the myth. I like that. Now we want this, guys. Let me just read your comments. Why can't they do one about the generous charitable things he's done? Linda, I hope they will. I hope this will be in this, because Netflix, come on, it's going to get millions and millions of views. Unlike that horrible one that was done by Prime about Elvis's so-called underage girlfriends. It was ridiculous. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope this is good. Don't bother watching the Prime one. It's disgusting. They should be ashamed that they actually made that. Right, let's have a look. So it says here, they also discussed his time working on The Last Dance for both ESPN and Netflix, describing the complex nature of the documentary. Okay, they're just more talking about other things he's done. Now, I always say this to you guys, us Elvis fans, Elvis defenders, Team Elvis, we're fed up with all these documentaries and biographies that keep repeating the same stuff. Look, obviously we like hearing the highlights, you know, his from rags to riches success story. We love listening to that. And then his 68 comeback, and then the 70s Vegas years. We want to hear the good bits. We don't want to hear the so-called half-truths that come from the book Elvis and Me about what went on in 1959, because it's all just a story. We don't really know really what happened. Now, this takes me on to something. Did any of you watch Elvis's Rare Elvis Photos? So, you know, Rare Elvis Photos. Obviously, he's an Elvis defender, and he's given us a shout a few times. We've given him a shout, and I've watched his most recent video. And I'm not saying this in a negative way with Rare Elvis Photos. He's a great guy, but I do think that one of his sentences that he said about Elvis, I didn't like it, and I'm not saying this to fall out with him. I didn't like. He basically said, you know, it's obvious that Priscilla and Elvis had. How did he word it? They had. Was it sexual liaisons? That's how he put it, I think. Did any of you watch it? And I didn't like it because he takes that from the Priscilla film. From the Priscilla book, Elvis and Me. Yeah, that we know was written from her point of view, with no witnesses. It's her story. In my opinion, it's to make her look good and Elvis look bad. Now, let's have a look. Let's just read. Yeah, Caroline's talking about that. But in case I think his name might be Dave. In case you do watch this, Dave, I just have one thing to say to you, that I can see that you believe that there was sexual stuff that went on in 1959 when Elvis briefly met Priscilla. And I know why you think it, because Priscilla says it in her book, Elvis and Me. She sort of, she's very clever how she words things, but a lot is just done in the imagination. She repeatedly says they never had sex, that she wanted sex. Elvis clearly did not want sex, made it very clear to her that they were never going to have sex. But she also, in a very sly way, gives the impression they did everything but. Now, I dispute this. Now, I'm not saying it was true or not true. I'm not being naive. What I'm saying is that when Rare Elvis Photos, a massive YouTube channel that has had 80,000 views, says on his video, it's obvious that they had sexual liaisons. I don't think that's fair, because it isn't obvious, because we weren't there. We were not in the room. All we know is that in Priscilla's book, which we always call a fairy tale, that it may have happened. Now, the reason we're called Defending Elvis is because every time something comes in front of me that I think is a grey area, So we don't know if it did happen or didn't happen. I think we should defend Elvis. So my point with Rare Elvis Photos video, and I love his channel, does great videos, he does great work. He's definitely an Elvis defender. And he's not a Priscilla fan, yeah? But I will say this to you, is it Dave? That you actually don't know if there was sexual stuff that went on between Elvis and Priscilla in 1959 when they were in Germany. You don't know it. So when you say that it did happen, I would say to you, until we can prove it did happen, it should always be a maybe. And the way you said that sentence in that video was not a maybe. You're basically saying, well, it's obvious this happened, blah, blah, blah. Now, I defend Elvis on that one point because Elvis isn't here to defend himself. Yeah, he can't. If he was watching your video and you clearly say, look, when Priscilla was 14, it's obvious that Elvis and Priscilla touched each other up. Yeah, I think Elvis would be annoyed. I think he'd jump up and say, well, how do you know? You weren't there. Was you in the room? I know that the guy from Elvis Rare Elvis Photos does jump in and say, look, it was different times then. It was the 1950s. It was quite common for people very young to get married to older men. He says as young as 13, 14. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I fully agree that 14-year-olds were marrying men in their 20s, but definitely over 16. Yeah, we know the whole weird story with Jerry Lee Lewis and that, because she was 13 and a cousin, but that is different. I wouldn't put that in the same context. In the 1950s, yes, girls, the parents of girls that were young teenagers would start looking for a husband for their daughters because they wanted their daughters to be quite innocent when they got married in the 1950s and 60s. And they could have been as young, I would say, as young as 16, 17, 18. The friendships may have started as young as 14, 15. So do you actually get what I'm trying to say, guys? Look, let me just check your messages. Yeah, so Linda's watched it. Has anyone else watched Rare Elvis Photos? I think it's his most recent video. He does post like a couple of days, doesn't he? So they go quick. And look, I'm not going to be naive. Yeah, who knows what really happened? I'm not going to whitewash Elvis and say, oh, come on, he did or he didn't. That's not fair. But I will say this. When I see someone who has 80,000 subscribers saying that, yes, there were sexual liaisons, and he bases his information on the book Elvis and Me, that we all think many of the things in the book Elvis and Me have been exaggerated, twisted. Some of it is just complete lies, in my opinion. I disagree with the way he worded that particular section. You need to go back and watch it. It's only about 7 minutes long. So in case you're watching this, my friend, there's no offense to you. I just think, come on, we don't really know, do we? And we shouldn't treat the book Elvis and Me, that was written 7 years after Elvis died by a woman that had divorced him 4 years before he died. We shouldn't treat it as fact. We shouldn't. Yeah. Elvis had only been friends with Priscilla for 8 to 10 weeks, with a very brief friendship, which he's admitted in an interview. As far as I can see, it was very innocent. Yes, he wanted to pour his heart out and talk about Gladys and his future and his insecurities. And he was worried about being forgotten and all these kind of things. And they had a closeness, they had a connection, which is obvious because he ended up marrying her. But I still think if you read the book and you read between the lines, Elvis was very clear. No sex. Even when she moved to Graceland at the age of just under 18, and she'd visited a few times prior to that when she was 17, Elvis made it very clear, no sex. She was begging for the sex, begging, if you go by her book, her words. So my last word on this subject is, I personally don't think it's right that you insinuate that they definitely had sexual encounters when she was 14 with Elvis. I don't think that's fair to Elvis. So what are your opinions on that, guys? Let's have a look. So I disagree as well with the way he worded it. We all have our opinion. He changed my mind about many things that Rebecca Childbride is very enlightened. And he was saying it was what Scylla had claimed. Some of the Memphis Mafia claimed. Right. Right. Let's just go to Carolyn's comment. We all have our opinions. I agree. We definitely have opinions. You and me, Team Elvis, we've got opinions on what we feel. I've got my personal opinions. You have your personal opinions on what really truly went on behind closed doors in that room upstairs. But we don't know. We don't know. And this is my point. The problem I thought, the way Rare Elvis Photos quoted that particular part of his video was he basically said they had sexual encounters as if it was truth. Now that isn't fair. Now then we've got, he was saying that Priscilla has claimed of some of the Memphis, and I've heard the Memphis Mafia assume that sexual stuff may have gone on, not full intercourse, but we don't know, guys. The Memphis Mafia were not up in that room. They were not up in that room. It was just Priscilla and Elvis. Elvis was going through a tough time. Was it 9 months up before his mum had died when he was doing his basic training at Fort Hood? He was still very heartbroken about his mother. And he was in a strange land. He's in Germany. He wants to be around English-speaking people. Priscilla was an English-speaking American. Elvis was he didn't confide in all of the people that were living in that house in Germany. I think he trusted Charlie Hodge. So he felt he could talk to Priscilla. They had a connection that was quite special, which is obvious because they went on to get married. But who was in that room with them? Who really knows? Who really knows how many times they went up to that room? No one knows unless we were there. So I dispute what is said in the Rare Elvis Photos video. Now, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying we don't know. There's a big difference. Big difference. And for me to stand up for Elvis with Team Elvis, I have to be able to say if there's a grey area, if we're not 100% without proof, documentation, proper research, because I won't class the book Elvis and Me as proper research because it was written 7 years after he died and from his ex-wife. So now, do I think stuff may have happened? 50-50, guys. 50-50. I don't know. But a man that is saying there's no way we're having sex, that sends another message to me. Now, he does talk a lot about the book Child Bride, doesn't he? Right, let's have a look. He shouldn't have just taken, yes, either their word for it from the Memphis Mafia or the book, Elvis and Me. I'm just trying to be fair, Carolyn. I'm trying to go, come on, we're defending Elvis. If something is being said by such a high-profile channel, there's people that will watch that channel and believe every word that is said. You know, even when he's discussing the book Child Bride, we don't know that the book Child Bride is true or not. We know that Child Bride had many witnesses, unlike the book Elvis and Me. We also know, didn't some of them take a polygraph test? We know that Cary Grant took one, Priscilla Presley took one. From what we're told, there's a chance that Priscilla failed a few of the questions on the polygraph, and it was very clear that Cary Grant and Priscilla may have had sex a few times, but we don't know. There's something I can read to you in a minute about that. Anyway, let me just quickly check your messages, guys. Let's have a look. Michael, I believe Elvis had too much respect. He wouldn't do that. His respect goes, yes. I think that as well, guys. I think Elvis, he was very old-fashioned, wasn't he? He was old-fashioned. He did things in a certain way. He expected certain things from not just the woman that he liked, but also the way that he did it. And don't forget, he was seeing the secretary. You guys tell me her name. he also was still with Anita Wood, and I'm sure he had other girlfriends as well, because Elvis, as a teenager and in his 20s, he had a lot of girlfriends. Let's face it. Yes, Linda. The only people that know is Elvis and Priscilla. So I say this to the big channels, because I still class us as a small channel. If you're going to say stuff as fact, you have to back it up. We must have evidence. We must be able to prove it. Otherwise, you should say we're not sure. He does good work, and I like a lot of what he posts. And I think his wording was wrong, because no one knows. And my belief is nothing happened. Thanks, Sue. I agree. I love his channel. Rare Elvis Photos has a great channel, but it popped up on my live stream. No, someone sent it to me, actually, one of you guys. And when I watched it, he spent a lot of it talking about Child Bride. We know that the story of Child Bride has, how can I say, an alternate reality to what really went on in 1958 and 1959 with Cary Grant, with Priscilla. Now, the original story is that Cary Grant approached Priscilla and said, "Look, I know Elvis. Would you like to meet him?" And he introduces her to Elvis, and the rest is history. Or we've got the alternate, the Child Bride version, where it was all pre-planned, and she knew that Cary Grant knew Elvis, so she approaches Cary Grant and says to him, can you introduce me to Elvis? Also, that she was a fanatical Elvis fan before she met him, whereas Priscilla's alternate version is that she wasn't really interested in Elvis as a fan. So there's different stories, guys. And the difference with Child Bride and the book Priscilla and Me, well, with Child Bride, there are a lot of witnesses. Suzanne Finstad obviously wrote the book. With the book Elvis and Me, there are no witnesses. It's just based on real people, the book Elvis and Me, but we don't know if one word of it is true. We know it's based on real people, but it is Priscilla's version of events with no witnesses, and Elvis did not have one say in that book, not one word, which worries me. And it was 7 years after he died, and by a woman who was divorced from him, and it was a very ugly divorce. And we've already been through this, haven't we, guys? That 1977 year was a horrific year for Elvis because of the divorce settlement, the releasing of the book Elvis, What Happened by the Memphis Mafia, and the financial hell that Elvis was going through in 1977. And he was chronically unwell on heavy medication as well. Very sick, in a lot of pain, with no sleep, basically couldn't go to the toilet. So it was a horrific year for him. Let's just have a look. So, Louis, I agree with you. This is why I came across the channel. So happy that you're defending. Thanks, Luann. Do you know what? Anyone that says something to me that I think hurts his image or his reputation, I will dispute it and try and read between the lines, and I will try and defend Elvis. Now, I'm going to fall out with some people because I will say things that some people disagree with. Like the most recent argument has this stupid story that Elvis took salt tablets to sweat in his performances. I don't care what anyone says to me. I will never accept that Elvis did that. I don't care. I literally would. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know the truth. But I have my view on things. Defending Elvis Presley, my view on things. I think it's ridiculous. People can send me proof all day long, and unless they show me a prescribed bottle of salt tablets that were prescribed to Elvis Presley with his name on them, or Elvis in a video admitting that he took them to sweat, I will dispute it. I don't care if Larry Geller said it or if it was in a book. I will always do this, guys. If I ever hear information that is not proved, I am going to disagree with it. I will never allow the book Elvis and Me to be fact. It is not fact. It is a fairy tale. It is, in my opinion, many, many untruths are in that book from my opinion. Right, let's have a look. Hi, guys. Hi, Sherry. You've been to ballet classes with your granddaughter. That's cute. My daughter does ballet as well. you know what the book? But Jeanette, I've read most of. I've read the book Elvis. I mean, it's quite an interesting read. Doesn't make it true. It's quite an easy read, isn't it? It's a very easy book to read. Doesn't make it true. It's a massive bestseller, wasn't it? It made Priscilla a fortune. Doesn't make it true. Right, even Lamar Fike joked about that. Elvis asking Elvis, did you get the key? Elvis asked, what key? Lamar joked about the jail key. Yes, and I've seen Michael. Hi, Michael. I've seen the interviews with the Memphis Mafia. But when I watch these different interviews with the Memphis Mafia, they make me want to defend Elvis even more. These are supposed to be close friends of Elvis that grew up with him, spent their whole lifetimes with Elvis. The things that they say about Elvis, I find derogatory. Derogatory. Because the Memphis Mafia do not know what happened sexually between Priscilla and Elvis. Why would they know? Elvis didn't take the Memphis Mafia into the bedroom with them. The Memphis Mafia didn't know what went on behind closed doors. So I dispute a lot of the things the Memphis Mafia have said. Now, I watched an interview. I don't really like to bring up Billy Smith because I think he's a great guy. I think he's very, very close to Elvis. And if anyone knows anything, it'll be Billy. But it doesn't mean that everything Billy says is 100% right. Sometimes Billy says things that I don't agree with. So a few of you are going to be annoyed at me at that. I know Billy was around right from when he was very, very young. And he was even around in the 50s and 60s, right to the end. And I feel sorry for Billy. The way he's been treated is disgusting. Billy, the way his whole family have been outed and not involved in any movies or they've never been invited to Graceland. I think that's wrong. But that doesn't mean that I think every word Billy says is 100% correct. Now, I watched Billy on a recent interview that quite a few of you have watched. And I thought a couple of the things he said weren't right. And the reason I think that is because some of the things he said, he didn't say this happened. He said, in my opinion. In my opinion. That's not good enough. I need this happen. That happened. Not in my opinion. So no offense to Billy Smith. I think he's great. He's obviously quite elderly now. He doesn't seem very well. He does seem like a lovely person. But we have to read between the lines. We have to, Team Elvis and Elvis fans, we have to try and get to the truth rather than just because someone was there in the 1950s and 60s doesn't mean 100% is correct, because people see things from their point of view and memories have faded. So there is a certain level of guesswork, grey area. So I hope that hasn't annoyed anyone, because I find it difficult to talk about Billy Smith because people are very defensive when it comes to Billy. But I do think Billy's a great guy. We just got to get to the truth, guys, not what people think happened, what might have happened, not a maybe. I know, got me lager. So I can't keep it going too long. There's I did see a couple of clips. I thought I would play them for you. Let's have a look. I saw. We've been talking about the elder abuse, and Priscilla is counterclaiming, or sort of countersuing with Bridget Cruz, claiming that she's very frail and unwell. And there's been some press releases about Priscilla, which I did. Let's see if it's on here. Yeah, there we go. Let me just. I'll play a bit of it. I'll play a bit of it for you. I've already played this. I'll play a bit of it and then I'll talk about it just quickly.
Priscilla Presley sparks dementia fears over $1 million ripoff lawsuit. House asking, is this part of larger cognitive decline problem? By Radar staff. Friends of Priscilla Presley fear the 79-year-old's mental state is slipping and she's an unwitting victim of financial elder abuse, a Graceland insider spilled to RadarOnline.com. In her 45-page legal complaint, Elvis's aging ex, who's worth $50 million, claimed memorabilia auctioneer Bridget Cruz and her business partners sweet-talked her and then robbed her blind to the tune of $1 million. The civil suit slammed Cruz as a con artist and pathological liar, who allegedly, fraudulently induced Priscilla into signing contracts that gave Cruz and her helpers 80% of her income. Now, according to a source,
right.
friends worry.
So there we go. I played this yesterday. Now, the reason I quickly played that clip is because Priscilla is basically saying that there's elder abuse and that she's not herself anymore and she was took advantage of. So then this was sent to me and I thought, you tell me, guys, if you think this person looks frail and not well. Let me just show it you. Let's see if it comes up.
I think you missed Netfix. It's the other one. Yeah, so when you get to the car, just funny. When you get to the car, maybe you sit down and get situated. Thank you. I didn't listen to that. That's right. Thank you. Charles. From Charles. Thank you. No. I think you got the sunglasses on. My mom, this is your clothing store. This is my friend's sister's last one. Thank you. My car. What's the book? Thanks very much. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Jessica Simpson for that. What happened? I said you might even Jessica Simpson. I don't think so. What's looking for that? Really? Did you enjoy Obama's speech last night? I missed it. I was in Brazil. Yeah. No, I don't. Do you miss those, Priscilla? Miss what? Photos. No. Do you remember them? You're funny. You're gonna vote for Obama, Priscilla? I don't get political. Not right now. I can't do any more, guys. Thank you. This is the last one? Yeah. This is the last one?
So I don't see I know that she's obviously quite old, yeah. I'm 57, she's 80, it's a big difference. But I don't see a frail person. I don't see someone claiming elder abuse because she had lost her faculties or has dementia. I don't see any of that, guys. She's very chatty, she answers the questions quickly. Physically, she's very nimble and moves around like a much younger lady. So I'm not falling for the elder abuse. And the other thing I think is this. Look at the attention she gets. Now, let me just get to let me come back onto it. Let's try and get to the beginning of it again. Now you look, right, you look at the attention she gets, guys. Why is she treated like a famous celebrity? Like, why is she treated like a talented person that, like Elvis?
It's way over here, I'm sorry. I think you missed the express. It's the other one. Make a left turn in the highway. The first one is
It's have enough guys.
yeah, so when you get to the car, just when you get to the car, maybe you sit down, get situated. Thank you. I didn't make it to the sound check.
So my point is, guys, why? Yes, she married Elvis, yeah, and they divorced in 1973. It was over and done and dusted. That's a long time ago, guys. But look at it. It's 2024, and she is treated like Elvis Presley. She gets the kind of attention Elvis would have got. She is surrounded by photographers and paparazzi. Why, guys? Why? What is the fascination? Does it make any sense? All because she once married Elvis in 1967. And let's face it, it only lasted 2 or 3 years, really, if you really look at the proper marriage. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. That it doesn't seem right that this woman that treated Elvis so badly, in my opinion, I personally think Priscilla, the way she treated Elvis in the second divorce settlement around 1977, I think was very cruel. So when she gets this massive amount of attention, just because she's walking through an airport, oh my God, it looks like it's raining. Oh, it's raining. Because she gets this massive amount of attention. Let me just show you the rain, guys. She gets this massive amount of attention. Right, I'm going to show you the rain. They did say it was going to be a storm, a bit of a storm today. Whoa, look at that. Looks cool, doesn't it? It's more wind. I would say it's more wind than rain. Look at the clouds. We definitely have got a forecast of bad weather. Let me just plug the laptop in a minute, guys. Right, so because of that, guys, because of the weather, I'm expecting my wife to pop in. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So my point is, guys, elder abuse, it doesn't sit with me. But someone sent me another video that I liked, and it's got the twins in it. Let's have a look if I can find it. It shows Finley and Harper. I think they're 16 now. Let me just. So I've turned the music down. I don't want it to be copyrighted by YouTube. They're stunning girls. Come on, when they're older, they're going to be beautiful women, aren't they? Let's go back a little bit so you can see them properly. Yeah. You guys send me these little clips, and I think the bottom line is they're the Presleys, aren't they, guys? These are Presleys, the bloodline of Elvis. It's important to us. So that's it, really. So just on another note, did I just wanted to briefly mention it. My hair's looking a bit. I just want to briefly mention it. I saw a post on Facebook, and it was. I know that you guys know that I had to block one of our subscribers. Do you know about that? Are you aware of it? It's I can see that I stumbled across that she had posted basically moaning that she had been blocked. I just want you to know, guys, I'm not going to say her name, but I didn't have a choice. We are called Defending Elvis Presley. There was one member we had to block because she would not let it go. My God, can you hear that? Can you hear thunder? Let's have a look. We'll see if we get a flash. They did predict this today. Now, this particular member, well, firstly, she started a Facebook channel without my permission. She never, ever asked me. She started it and then told me about it. But then I made it clear to her that when it comes to defending Elvis Presley, I didn't want the topic of him being a paedophile constantly being brought up. Now, obviously, people do ask me questions, and I will respond, and I will talk in detail about the friendship that Elvis had with Priscilla in 1959. But what I don't want to do is people keep sending me all this garbage that is all over Google calling Elvis a paedophile. There's a lot of information, lies that are posted on Google every day calling Elvis a paedophile, and I'm not having it. I'm not gonna allow it on my channel. So this particular person was insisting that we debate Elvis being a paedophile, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested. It's all lies. We can all find lies. If we want to find lies about Elvis, there are millions and millions of lies being said about Elvis every day. That's why we're called Defending Elvis Presley. That's the name of our channel, isn't it? Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. So I am not going to allow a subscriber to keep posting lies about Elvis being a paedophile. And this is why I fell out with this person. We fell out over it. And before I blocked her, I did say, I don't want to block you. I clearly said it. I do not want to block you. But if you're insisting on repeatedly bringing up the lies about Elvis, I'm going to block you. And then her answer to that was freedom of speech. Now, I'm not against freedom of speech, guys. Of course, freedom of speech. But you can do your freedom of speech on other channels. On this channel, Defending Elvis Presley, the name Defending Elvis Presley, we are going to defend Elvis. We're not going to keep bringing up all the negative lies that are constantly said about him. We're going to defend him. Now, if someone jumped in now and did a comment, hi, Patricia. We are seeing your comments, Patricia. Don't worry. We are seeing your... Hi, Patricia Wingard. Now, if someone asks me a question about the friendship that Elvis had in 1959 with Priscilla, oh, that rain's pouring down now. If someone asks me a question, I will answer it, guys. I will do my best to give you all the information I have. But I won't have one of my subscribers who are here to defend Elvis Presley constantly bringing up, oh, he was a paedophile. He did this. He did that. No, because I want proof. If anyone is going to call Elvis a paedophile and come up with loads of different things, they better be able to prove it. We want proof. That rain. Let me shut that window. We want proof, guys. That's proper rain, guys. Proper rain. So you get what I'm saying to you. So this woman, she did try and post something on Facebook to try and get people on side to agree with her. She brings up freedom of speech, all the rest of it. But luckily, I read these comments, and you lot were against what she was saying. You lot were all agreeing with me, and you were all saying, we're here to defend Elvis Presley, not to bring up all the lies. So thank you for your support, Team Elvis. And she gave me no choice. And then I did, Carolyn, I had no choice. I even offered her the opportunity to unblock her, but she was still demanding that she could have freedom of speech on our channel. Now, no, she can have freedom of speech on any other channel. But on our channel, if someone is going to keep going, let's talk about Elvis being a paedophile, they're going to get a bad reaction from me. They're going to get a bad reaction from me because enough has been said about it. There's enough lies. There are enough lies being said about Elvis. So why would we have one of our own subscribers demanding that we discuss the lies? And then the other thing she was doing, she wanted me to stop the subscribers from calling Priscilla Prissy. Now I said to Priscilla, I said to this subscriber, what's wrong with calling her Prissy? There's nothing wrong with it. That's what Shauna calls her. Are we aware of this? Shauna calls her Prissy. I don't think it's a big deal calling someone Prissy. It's not a swear word. So she was trying to get me to block people and tell people off that called Priscilla Prissy. Now she was in charge. She set up the Facebook channel without my permission. So she was the administrator of the Facebook channel. So she told me she was going to start blocking people that say the word Prissy. Now I said to her, well, Shauna says Prissy. Are we going to block Shauna as well? So my point, I'm not going to say the name, Gio. Most of you know who it is. Now, what is wrong with calling someone Prissy? What's wrong with that? So she basically was insisting that I allow her to talk about Elvis being a paedophile, and we debate it, which I didn't want to because enough has been said. And she was insisting that anyone that uses the word Prissy be told off or deleted or blocked. I'm not having it. So I disagreed with her. At this point, I gave her I said to her, I did say to her, you are either a defending Elvis person, an Elvis defender, or you're not. You're Team Elvis or you're not. So I trust me, guys, I did not want to block this person. I did not want to block this person. It was very, very upsetting. And then even when I gave her a second chance, Gio, I'm sure you can guess, Gio. Even when I gave her a second chance, she didn't take it. She did not take it. I gave her a chance to not bring up the paedophile rumors, and she was not having it. So in the end, even after offering her a second chance and of unblocking her, it wasn't going to happen. Come on, guys, we all know who it is, but I'm not here to talk about someone's name. I'm not here to create hate about a person. I just want to say, I'm using it as an example. We're here to defend Elvis Presley, and there's going to be lots of subjects brought up, and we're going to defend him as best as we can. We're going to do our research and find some evidence and documents. We're going to do our best, but I won't have a subscriber who was running a Facebook channel that I didn't ask them to set up. They had set it up off their own back, to start constantly telling me that I have to bring up subjects that I didn't want to talk about, like him being a paedophile, like blocking people that use the word Prissy. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it was a little controlling. Look, if people come onto our channel and start asking questions about Priscilla in 1959, I will answer them, and you guys will as well. Yeah, but not our own subscribers. Nah. Anyway, I think I've got to go now, guys. I think everyone's coming in. Louis, did you right? Sure, I have right about the music that's being altered. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem. I know a few of you have sent it me. I think if we can get new Elvis fans to discover Elvis and learn Elvis's music, even if it's been altered, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, guys. I'm not against, like, was it Mystery Train? Is that the song? Someone sent it me. I don't. If people are changing Elvis's music, but it's bringing in new fans, I don't mind it. I don't have a problem with it. That to me isn't. To me, blocking Elvis's music, even if it's been altered, isn't what I'm about. It is not what I'm about. I want the more we can get Elvis out there, the better. Like a little less conversation. When that was released, that was completely remixed, but it brought in a lot of new fans. Anything that brings in, was it Kentucky Rain? Is that right, Patricia? I don't mind it. I don't mind it because we want new fans. We want the younger generations to discover Elvis. So I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it at all. I want to defend the lies. That is why we're here. We're going to defend the lies, all the rubbish, all the bullshit, the Elvis and Me book. Yeah, that's what we're about. Standing up for Elvis. Not if people want to change music around, good. Get more fans listening to Elvis. I'm completely fine with it. Hi, Yeet. Oh, thanks, Michael. Thank you, Michael. We're off now, guys. Let me just say goodbye to everyone. Yeah, I want to go Gracelands. Sue Shannon. Yes, Sue, you're going to do it. You're going to do it, Sue. You're going to be there on your 65th birthday. Yeah, I've heard. Diana, hi, Diana. Eileen, me and Diana. I love to go. Yeah, do you know, Eileen, I still want to go to that exhibition in London. Anyway, guys, not too serious video. It is a bit difficult here because I'm in this apartment. Hi, Deborah. We're going to do another one later. Deborah, welcome. Good night, Luann. Hi, Luann. Hope you're well. Don't forget, it's Elvis week. So I know that Rhonda Presley Mania is going to Elvis week with Amy. Amy Collett is the girl that is talking about Elvis's health problems. She was interviewed by Rhonda on Presley Mania. So they're at Elvis week this week. I think they're there today as we speak. Hi, Elvis Presley. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. You take care, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone. I'll be back later. Take care. All the best to you guys.